Hello, everyone. Thinking about moving to China, or just curious what life is really like beyond the headlines. You've probably seen the food, the tech, and the skyscrapers on TikTok or YouTube. But living in China? That's a whole different experience. In this video, I'm breaking down what it actually feels like to live here as a foreigner. No filters, no fluff, just the honest reality. So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. Let's start with geography, because that alone shapes everything. China is massive. That means exploring it is both thrilling and exhausting. While the high-speed trains are world-class, getting to more remote or less developed areas can take hours, or even a full day. For expats living in cities like Shanghai or Beijing, a simple weekend getaway to real China often turns into a major logistical operation. Now, throw in a public holiday and things go to a whole new level. And if you plan that trip on a public holiday, buckle up. Everyone's traveling at once. Tickets sell out fast, prices skyrocket, tourist spots overflow. And then there's the infamous make-up workday system, where a holiday means you still have to work on a weekend later. For many foreigners, that calendar flip-flop is frustrating and hard to get used to. Once you've survived the crowds, the streets offer their own surprises. Once you're back in the city, traffic's another story. Pedestrians crossing wherever they want, scooters on sidewalks, and delivery drivers checking their phones while swerving between cars. It can feel like organized chaos. You learn pretty quickly to stay alert and move with purpose, whether you're walking, biking, or driving. But the chaos doesn't stop at traffic. And it's not just the roads that are wild, it's the screen time. Phones run daily life here. People eat with them, walk with them, even drive with them. Watching videos in public without headphones is normal, and live streaming while riding a scooter isn't unusual. For newcomers, it can feel rude or even dangerous. But love it or hate it, mastering China's digital life through apps like WeChat and Alipay is essential. Behind that screen, though, there's a lot of real-world red tape. Behind the screen, though, comes the paperwork. From visa renewals to bank appointments, dealing with admin in China can test your patience. Much of the system is still paper-based and mostly in Chinese, and different offices sometimes give different answers. A few words of Mandarin go a long way. And if you can find a friendly local or a seasoned expat to help out, take that help. And don't count on Google to save you. But don't expect to Google your way through it. If you rely on Google, Instagram, or YouTube, get ready for a culture shock. They're all blocked. Most foreigners need a VPN to access the wider web. And even then, speeds can vary. Still, China's local internet is blazing fast. Apps like Baidu and WeChat do the job, but adjusting your digital life takes time. That same adjustment applies in the workplace too. And then there's work. Work culture here can be intense. Long hours, rigid hierarchies, and blurred lines between work and personal time aren't uncommon, especially in tech and corporate settings. 996, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, isn't just a meme. It's a reality in some places. Social dynamics in the office can feel formal, and saying no to a team dinner? Not always easy. Home life isn't always easier either. Speaking of uncomfortable, you'll feel that when apartment hunting. Renting in China comes with its own set of challenges. Language barriers with agents, short-term contracts, and surprise repairs are just part of the game. Landlords sometimes raise the rent mid-lease, and figuring out the fine print often requires help from a local friend or some serious Google Translate hustle. And when health becomes a concern, it pays to be prepared. And if you ever get sick, you'll be glad you did your homework. International hospitals in big cities are solid, but expensive. Public hospitals are cheaper, but can be chaotic and tough to navigate without Chinese. It's smart to have good insurance, and even smarter to know where your nearest clinic is before you need it. Of course, much of what you think you know about China may not match what you experience. Media narratives don't always match reality. A lot of foreigners arrive with assumptions based on headlines back home. And while China does have its complexities, many expats are surprised by how safe, friendly, and modern life actually feels. Living here gives you a chance to form your own view, not just what the headlines say. Still, there's an emotional weight that doesn't always get talked about. But that doesn't mean it's easy. No one talks enough about the emotional side of moving abroad. Missing family events, navigating loneliness, or feeling out of place. It's real. Culture shock can be draining. But with time and by building a support network, things usually get better. It just takes patience and connection. So how do you deal with all this change? If you come to China expecting things to work the same as back home, you'll struggle. But if you stay open, flexible, and curious, you'll adapt. Learn a little Chinese, ask questions, and embrace the differences. That shift in mindset can turn culture shock into something transformational. And of course, let's not forget the social side of life. And last but not least, friendships and dating. Making close friends with locals takes time. There's a language gap and sometimes a culture one too. Expats often stick to expat circles, and dating can be a totally different world than you're used to. But if you're open and respectful, it can be incredibly rewarding. So what's the real deal? Living in China isn't always easy, but it can be one of the most eye-opening, transformative experiences of your life. It's not about perfection, it's about perspective. If this helped you get a clearer picture, smash that like button and let me know in the comments. Would you move to China? Or have you already lived here?